Shut up and sit down.
Fantastic news. We've got Samia back with us today. She is going to talk to us all about last year's Edinburgh. Lots of exciting things coming up with Kidnap. Samia, hello. Welcome again.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's really lovely to see you.
Right. Before we go any further, I just want to say your headshots that you've had done for all your social media and for Kidnap and what have you. Linda Blacker, brilliant job. How thrilled are you about those?
She is honestly fantastic. She really is. She went above and beyond in terms of discussing the concept, and every step of the way she was incredible. So absolute 100% credit to Linda, because she is fantastic.
Yeah, it looked like it was good fun as well.
It was really good fun, mainly because she kind of, that was a proper, as it happens, Welsh Guards outfit.
Yeah.
And the whole show, part of it is about my mum being from Wales and all her background. So that felt really quite beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really good fun, mainly because she just took care of everything.
Yeah.
So I could really enjoy it rather than stress.
Yeah. Yeah, and the end product is just incredible. So that I had to say something because it was just so fantastic to see those.
I really appreciate that, because I think the photos we had before were quite heavy, and the show, even though when you pitch it, it sounds heavy, it's not a heavy show at all.
Yeah.
So I really wanted something to reflect that kind of playful and sort of naughty part of the show,
Yeah, I think she nailed it. I think it was really good.
Yeah.
So taking you back to last year, obviously I interviewed you before Edinburgh Fringe. So let's talk about that. How was it?
Yes. Oh, wow. It's so funny. People say after Edinburgh, you process it for a while, and you slowly realise how you feel about it as time goes on. I feel like I'm still in that process a bit. So on the, let's say, downside first, apparently there were 1,300 shows on a day.
Wow.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Very, very overwhelming experience. Kind of posters are vomited over the whole city and people are everywhere, and it's kind of like, whoa, it's mad. And I wonder, and when I've spoken to people since, the sentiment seems to be, has it lost what it was meant to be about?
Right.
Has it lost sense of where it's going, what it's meant to do?
Yeah.
And has it become about money, which I certainly are part of my concerns. So that was tricky. It was tricky getting audiences in. I did like a lot of press in the day. I did a radio show. I did podcasts. And slowly got reviews in from the Scotsman and other places. But it was hard. It was hard to get audiences in.
Yeah.
And also, I went with Gilded Balloon, and they had a show next to me, which was the loudest show in Edinburgh. I think all the texts were like, how is your show next to that show?
Yeah.
So, and the building wasn't designed with any soundproofing or anything like that.
That must be difficult.
So those were the challenges, but I knew I was going into it with, for once in my life, I just thought, you're allowed to make all the mistakes there are. That's what this is about. You're allowed to get it wrong. You're allowed to be not sure. And I'm really glad I gave myself that.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, it was brilliant to do the show for 2 weeks, because I'd never had that long a run, just to really become very relaxed, normalize it. I was a friend of a friend gave me a really good deal on their studio, which was right under Arthur's Seat. So that was stunning and beautiful. Yeah. Edinburgh is stunning and beautiful. So, but it almost right after Edinburgh, I contacted Tom Thumb, because I just thought, if you can come from that to going into somewhere where there's 2 theatres, and they take care of you in the theatre, and you're sort of, what a contrast. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, like you say, to strike while the iron's hot as well, I think is really important because it might be quite easy to sit back and, like you say, just go over what Edinburgh was about and not do anything too much. And for a few months, oh, I'll give myself a few months. You know,
Mm,
you didn't. You've gone
yeah.
straight in and planned for the next bit. And that's what I was going to say to you. What did you take away? So was that the biggest thing that I need to keep this ball rolling and I need to carry
I
on?
kind of thought it actually matters the space that you perform a show in.
Mm,
It
mm,
needs to matter
yeah.
to. I've often felt like theatre has become a little bit stale.
Mm,
Like, you know, if you go to a really groovy restaurant or somewhere, you feel that buzz, you feel
yeah.
that someone's taking care about every detail in that place. And I wish that could be translated into theatres
Mm, mm,
where they were just brought up to date a bit, and care is taken, that
mm,
this is like a really beautiful space that matters.
yeah.
And so that was one of the things I thought is, because of the sound issue I had and everything,
Mm,
I wanted to work with theatres that really cared. They didn't
mm,
just want to get your money. I
mm,
also wanted to be programmed rather than rent, or at least just get a box office split.
yeah.
It made me kind of think about all those aspects of
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
um, a lot. It just made me think I've got to be more intentional
Mm,
in how I do this.
yeah.
Whereas before I was just like, oh my God, they'll let me perform. Yes, yeah.
So, moving on to obviously you've obviously approached Tom Thumb and what have you. Has looking at the show now, has anything changed that that you had at Edinburgh with the show?
Yeah,
Is the concept? I know the
yeah.
concept is still the same, but has anything changed? Those 2 weeks, has it allowed you to develop?
Yes. So I went in to do rewrites on
Hmm.
the show. So some bits that just, never quite landed, I let them go.
Mm.
If there was opportunity to bring even more humour into it, I did that.
Mm.
So I did rewrites, which was probably one of the scariest things, because learning 50-minute, 55-minute
Yeah.
show is hard. And then your brain gets used to all the connections.
Yeah.
That goes to that bit, that bit. And so to bring in these new bits, didn't quite want to do that, but I knew I had to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And anyway, I think they're in now.
Yeah.
Um, and I've also got like an amazing producer on board,
Mm.
because the script for my show year before last got into the interview stage of the Comedy Collective, BBC Comedy Collective bursary.
Yeah.
So that meant they carried on to help me. And someone from there who came to my show when it was at Riverside introduced me to this amazing woman, Meg Shepherd, who is kind of starting out in producing.
Mm.
So it was of interest to her to work on a show. And she has been unbelievable.
Mm. Well,
She is fantastic.
I was going to ask you about that. So obviously you've got a complete concept and a show, a 50-minute show. So what was it like to have a producer come on board for this next step for Kidnap?
Life changing
Mm.
is not too strong a word,
Yeah.
because I think it's because this producer, to be honest, because I just find her manner is incredibly gentle, and she's just very lovely to kind of interact with. But she also takes initiative so
Mm.
much, and I'm so used to pulling everything on my own,
Yeah.
and to know that someone else is pulling with me,
Mm.
it does get quite lonely. You're performing the show alone,
Yeah.
you do your texts alone, you do rehearsals, apart from sometimes I would work with a director, but a lot of the time on your own. You perform the show alone, you go home after alone, you plug it alone. So it's
Yeah.
like crazy
I
isolating. So
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
that's what I was going to say to you. It is quite an isolating thing, especially to go up to Edinburgh and do that as well. Like you say, it's the after show I probably would dwell on more as and not having someone to interact with. So to have a second person alongside you, it must just, well, you can see from your face, it clearly has made a difference.
I feel like the luckiest person ever in regards to that. It
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
yeah, it really, I will forever be grateful to Meg. And I think she's going to go on to do amazingly as a producer. She is
yeah,
just fantastic. Yeah.
yeah. So what sort of things does she take off your shoulders? How does it allow you to be even more creative than you are?
So, number one, she's kind of across everything. So, she
Mm.
kind of is holding everything in her head. She's approaching theatres. We also applied for funding,
Right.
which we're waiting to hear from. So, she really helped with that. She's arranging anything from arranging rehearsal rooms to trying to work out how we can get more press to sending the posters to the theatres. I mean, I'll probably leave out so much that she does,
Yeah.
but she's just thinking of everything
Yeah.
really in the same way that I am, but really now beyond me a lot of the time.
Yeah. And that frees you up to, like you say, when you've put changes into and you've developed that 50-minute show, um, it allows you then to just put those connecting dots and those right, that leads to that. So you're not filling your brain with all those other things that need doing because there is just so much involved in putting a show on. So I think it's
And that's
great.
exactly right. It's the
Yeah.
brain space that it
Yeah.
gives you, that
Yeah.
it allows you that, like, when I am going through my lines and running over it,
Mm.
I'm not thinking of 40 other things at the same time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It is just amazing. I don't know. I heard at one point there is a shortage of producers. So
Mm.
it's very, very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And how has your family reacted to the success of Kidnap? Because obviously the gamble of going up to Edinburgh, I mean, obviously you had Gilded Balloon that was supporting you there. But to take that and then go, actually, I'm taking this on a tour. How was that? How has your family sort of been supportive?
They've been really supportive. Actually, I've got someone helping me with social media, and he just started sort of releasing bits. I think day before yesterday or something. And I guess it must be the algorithm. But suddenly, my daughter's friends were. I was popping up on their TikTok, and then they were deep diving into like my stand up and stuff. So that was really exciting because, like, for it to reach 16-year-olds, you're like, I have arrived. If those guys are saying you're funny, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
But they've been really supportive. My son was away, but my daughter and my husband came to Edinburgh,
Oh,
and
fantastic.
they're generally kind of incredibly encouraging. In fact, it was my daughter that first said to me, I think you should go to Edinburgh
Oh,
before I
wow. Yeah.
even, so it's really important that someone in your life is suggesting things that you are scared of
Yeah.
and they're going, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, really supportive.
That's fantastic to know. That's fantastic. It's so important to have that backing back home, and because then it allows you to just not be, a partner, a mum. You can actually be you, and I think that's really important. And I really, really sort of resonate with that. Now the tour,
Yeah.
where where is the first place? It's Tom Thumb Theatre, so that's in
Tom
Margate, isn't
Tom, Margate. I'm going to see the sea. I'm really excited about that.
it?
We've sold, it's a 60-seater. We haven't done anything yet to sell it, and 50 seats have gone.
Wow, that's incredible. And
For me, that's incredible because,
yeah,
after Edinburgh, you're
yeah,
like sweating, bleeding for every seat you sell.
yeah,
For them to just put it on and 50 go, that was almost what I was after
yeah,
Edinburgh.
yeah,
And Margate is a very kind of creative, sort of groovy
yeah,
place from what I
absolutely.
gather.
Yeah, yeah. Got a definite art scene down there. Well, from that, I mean, is there a possibility of a second date there, do you think?
I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll see how it goes down, see how audiences respond. But I'd be more than up for it, for
yeah.
sure.
Superb. And this
Yeah,
is this is the territory that you're in now, isn't it? Is going into theatres. There is that potential to see the growth because you see it through physical seats that you haven't had to, like you say, blood, sweat, and tears, try and sell
absolutely.
and advertise. So that's on the 31st of March, Tom Thumb
Yeah,
Theatre in Margate. Then you move on to the 2nd of April at the Rosemary Branch Theatre in London. So is
yeah.
that somewhere that you've got a connection with, or is it somewhere that you just felt had the right venue?
That was somewhere that Meg found, and that again would actually program us rather than we rent
Yeah.
it. And Meg kind of knows more about that theatre than me, and I trust her. So
Yeah.
when she thought it was a good idea, I was like, great, let's go for it.
That's brilliant. And then finally,
Yeah.
10th of April, Bard Books in London. So
Yeah,
that,
so
that
Bard
one looks,
Books, I did stand up there, and it's this really beautiful bookshop in Bow
yeah.
that does loads of events as well. It's really a wonderful space. And when I went to do stand up, it was packed.
Yeah.
It's a night called Laugh Lines. It was absolutely packed. It was sold out. There was a great vibe there. So I just contacted Michelle, who booked me for that, to say, do you think they'd be interested in Kidnap? And they were really enthusiastic.
Brilliant.
And so I think that's quite interesting, thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a theatre.
No,
You
that's
can
right.
perform in other places. I'm one woman with a table and a chair, and you could even take those away and I could still do it, you know. So you know, it's quite nice, I think, because if some theatres don't get back to you, or they get back to you and then it feels promising and then things change. And so it's quite nice to come at it from a different angle at
Yeah,
times.
yeah, I do. I agree. I think it gives that variety for you as a performer as well, to
Yeah.
experience different spaces. So I was really pleased when I saw that one on there, because obviously I think I've seen your clip of your
Oh,
stand up at Bard Books, and I know
yeah.
here locally a lot of bookshops are starting to do that with not just authors, but to bring
Yeah.
in, you know, a variety of performers to come in, and it's brilliant. I think it's a really nice space
And if it
to do
helps
that.
bookshops survive as well
Yeah,
and everything
yeah,
else, how fabulous is
absolutely.
that too?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
please let them survive, you
yeah,
know?
definitely. Oh, I think they will. Absolutely. I think there's been a real insurgence of that. So
I love that.
that's the three dates that we've got currently, but I understand you've got some really good news.
Yes. So I basically saw that Alan Cummings had taken over as artistic director of Pitlochry. And then I remember looking into it, and he has an email address where you can contact him at the theatre. So I contacted him a while ago. And then they also were really helpful with our ACE funding.
Yeah.
And he said, it sounds really interesting for we do this Edinburgh, our own little mini Edinburgh festival. This sounds really interesting for that. So me and Meg kept in contact with him and other people there. And then last night when I got in, I got an email saying we'd like to, you know, program you for Edinburgh. So that is thrilling.
And when is that? Do you know? Have you got a firm date yet?
August. I think it's
August.
between something like August 2nd to the 6th. I don't know what dates they'll actually program me for, but I
Yeah.
just said I'm around any day, any time
Yeah.
during that period. I'm there.
What a fantastic opportunity. I said to you before we actually started recording, Pitlochry is one of my favourite places. It's going to be a
Oh,
great venue, I'm sure.
I
Um,
can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
where can people buy tickets? I mean, obviously, I'll put a link to any of your socials and what have you, and I'll put the dates down and the theatres that you're going to be appearing at. But is there any specific
Yeah.
place people can go for tickets?
So Meg set up a link tree which has all the different dates
Yeah.
and QR codes, and you just go into there, and that will always be updated because of the amazing Meg with any new dates that come up.
Yeah.
And that's on my socials. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's on. Yeah.
And it sounds like people are going to have to get in pretty quick, because obviously if 50 tickets have already gone so far for Tom Thumb, you know, it's brilliant. And I just really hope
Yeah.
that more dates are added, you know, for your
Yeah,
show.
I'm guessing London will be a harder sell, but we'll see. You know, I didn't want to. I was saying to Meg when we last met, should we ask about ticket sales? Thinking, oh God.
Mm.
So yeah, the Margate is thrilling.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure the others will be as well. You know, I really do. And the fact that you're familiar with Bard Books, you've already performed there. So, you know what the expectation is in regards of venue. But is there anything else that you're really excited about? You know, what is 2026 bringing to you?
I mean, I'm excited to discover like different places in the world, like Pitlochry, like Margate. I'm kind of, you know, I guess the ideal thing would be to be able to build the show to play to bigger audiences. In theory, I know that that's what I should say, but I'm kind of so thrilled right now to be at
Yeah.
this place where I've got these dates in and I've got an amazing producer and I've got these great new shots, and that I'm not really there yet. I'm
Yeah.
kind of more looking forward to performing it. I haven't performed it for a while now, and looking forward to sort of being with the audiences, really.
Yeah.
And I'm very much in that sort of headspace, I guess, at the moment, rather than next steps.
Yeah, you're living in the now, which is great, because then, you know, that just adds to everything. Well,
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed catching up with you. I really have,
Oh,
and
me
I can't
too.
wait to see, you know, where this all comes out. You know, I mean, how many more dates can we get on there? It would be fantastic because it's such a great show, and you've put a lot of effort into it. I know we spoke
Yeah.
quite in depth about it in our last interview. If anyone wants to catch up with the story so far, you know, it's brilliant for you. I'm pleased for you. I think you deserve it. I really do. So thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming on and
Thank you.
chatting. You know, I really
Thank
am.
you for having me. It's really
That's all
kind of
right.
you to be
And
so supportive.
we'll catch up again. We'll catch up again after all of this, you know, because I just
Absolutely.
think it's
Yeah,
so
I'll
good. So
keep you
let's
posted.
keep this going. So thank you for joining us today. I will add all those dates to the bottom of this video. So if anyone wants any further information, it will be at the bottom. And thank you for
Brilliant.
coming on to Comedy
Thank
Creative
you
today.
so
All
much.
right. Speak to
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.